All right, bro. So we gotta always bring it back to Egyptian mythology because Egypt they had it. We're not gonna lie about that. So with that being said, right, the spirit, right, is one main thing. But to understand spirits, right, is actually pretty simple because Egyptian mythology made it simple. So Ra, right, is the spirit, right, and he's the highest god in his theology because there's three main gods, right, that pertain to the three main dimensions of life. And you could just see what's inside your mind: conscious, subconscious, unconscious, right? So inside this particular dimension of life, right, that deals with spirits and all this other type of stuff, right, and light and everything like that, right, you have Ra, which is the highest god, right? Now with Ra at the same time also manifests Thoth, Hathor, and Mot. Now the reason why it's important that they manifest at the same time is because that means that they're all of the same level, and that Thoth, Hathor, and Ma are really just Ra, but these are just like three parts of Ra. Then from there you get the other gods and goddesses. So you have the main spirit and other spirits. Now understand something real quick. All the gods and goddesses are composed of Thoth and Hathor, intelligence and will. Intelligence, the ability to know, and then will, the ability to act. And if you look up intelligence on Google, it says the ability to know and act. You know what I'm saying? And act out that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Now, why is that important? Because a spirit is just a separate intelligence that has the ability to act. And the thing is, your thoughts are you receiving spirits, different intelligence that have the ability to act, because your thoughts is literally intelligence acting. Like when you think a thought on purpose, like, hey, what's up? You're using your own intelligence and knowledge of how to communicate inside your mind and acting that out to form these words and thoughts inside your head, because there's stuff behind the thoughts. Like there's stuff behind the hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just words at first. The easiest way to see is like, bro, when you're a baby, you don't have no English definition and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So like your thoughts aren't always words. They have to form into words, but there's something subtle behind it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's important because that subtle thing is pretty much just intelligence. And then it's acting itself out. And it's starting to act itself out and then form as words. But it can form as anything. Like all around you, intelligence formed as all of this. So why is that important? That's important because spirits are just intelligences that can act through you. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is important when it comes to spirit guides, because spirit guides are actually easier to communicate with than we think. Ryan Cropper made a post that said, your spirit guides want you to listen to them. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the main issue probably that somebody's gonna have is the fact that they don't know if it's a spirit guide or not. It's actually easier than you think, and I had to realize that for myself, because I'm gonna make a separate video on that. I might just end it right here. Spirits, bro, are just literally intelligences acting themselves out. And your thoughts that you don't think, if you didn't think the thought, right, that's a different intelligence coming through you. You know what I'm saying? Now, it could be coming from the environment around you. It could be coming from your own memory, because understand that, like, for an example, don't even imagine, bro, when you were a child, right, you encountered many different people and stuff like that, right? So let's say you had a bully and a really nice friend, right? Whenever you feel negative, the bully may come through inside you, a certain intelligence that you don't identify with coming through you and stuff like that. Now, stuff like that, like for example, the bully coming through you and stuff like that, that's an intelligence that you need to identify with more and stuff like that. Now, some things are just completely like separate, but nothing's completely just separate. Like, understand that. Some things are just perceived as more separate. Like, for example, when you think a thought on purpose, right? That seems really close to you. The more thoughts that you receive, the less identified you get with the thoughts, especially if you never thought a thought like that before. That's why you may say, dang, that was a crazy thought. It wouldn't be crazy if you always thought like that. You know what I'm saying? So it clearly came from something else that you don't identify with. Whether it be something that's with your own memory, something that's around you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm, like, I hope that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, even the environmental jokes are technically all you. But that starts getting understood as you expand with your mind. And then you identify with the parts of you that can actually spit off like that. Because understand that in Egyptian mythology also, right? You have God dang it! I wish I could see the picture, but I might be able to just put it up on here and stuff like that. You have the Ku and the Khabit, so you have pretty much the light that shines through the Khabit. Now the Khabit, I think that's the right one, right? It's just a shadow, and if you actually see the symbol, like one of the symbols actually has like a shade. It looks like an umbrella with like a shade on it, like this. You know what I'm saying? Now, why is that important? When light shines on the shade, it creates a shadow, right? Now, pretty much, this part of you can actually has the ability to like move independently from just your body. You know what I'm saying? So when the spirit shines through, this is at a high part of you, by the way. You know what I'm saying? This is at like a very, very, very high part of you. You know how like you ever seen those scary movies where someone's possessed, but they're only possessed where they go type stuff, like, and it has to deal with that person, the spirit's attached to that person type issue. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of more dealing with something like that. Okay, it's more dealing with something like that. But with all that being said, the light is shining through and it creates all these shadows, different parts of you and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But when you start to reverse the process, you go back to the light and it stops making the shadow, then it becomes all one being. And the one being is crazier than we like to think, because the one being is literally one being, you know, like even if you get to freaking the 12th dimension, if there's 24 dimensions after that, you know what I'm saying? That means that you're starting at the highest point. The highest point is a one being that's literally everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, like it's actually everything, which is why the God state is a certain type of state that a lot of people wouldn't even, when I say what the God state is, they're gonna understand. Yeah, that's obviously the God state, but like people don't usually think about the God state like that all the time, and some are probably gonna disagree with it when I make the video, but who really cares, right? That's what spirits are, though. Intelligences that can act themselves out, you know, they can appear as thoughts, emotions, many different things.